What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, we got to talk about a bunch of Persona rumors that we had just heard this morning. So I want to thank my friend Alex on Twitter, who had posted a link to Nate the Hate's YouTube account. And he did a podcast earlier this morning. And I had to ask, I was like, I've heard of him. I know I've heard of the name, but I don't know, his track record. I'm pretty sure, based off what I've seen and what I've been told, his track record is extremely good. Now, couple things to note, and we'll go into, literally what he said about all of these Persona titles because there's more than one. This was a mix, this podcast that he did, was a mix of predictions and what he knows. So, like, Jeff Grubb does this, he does this, you've seen this here and there. You got to be able to differentiate, and I think I've done it. You got to be able to separate what he's speculating on, like, because it's a predictions show for the PlayStation Showcase. So what are guesses, what are educated guesses, but it's still guesses, right? Versus what they actually know. And I guess how I look for that, is specifically in this podcast, is he sounded very confident and very direct with the things that sounds like he was told this information versus, well, do you think it's, do you think? Then the question, right? So what we have here is a couple different things. Number one, the official things that it sounds like he has heard is this: Persona 6 next year, late next year. That sounded confident to me. Now, it could have been a guess, but it did sound confident, and it also makes sense, by the way. Late 2024, that lines up in my head. That seems like it makes a lot of sense. So you have that. It's only going to be on next-gen consoles. Now, I'll say it like that because then there's the debate of PS5 versus Xbox, timed exclusive. But it would be skipping PS4. And so you imagine it would skip Xbox One if it were to ever come out on Xbox, right? So you have that. And then there was the talk of, well, do you think it would be at the PlayStation Showcase? And they kind of landed on no. They kind of landed that it still needs a little bit more time. But then they circled back around because, as we know and we've talked about on this channel, is, it very much seemed like they were supposed to announce it last year and they, delayed it kind of last second. So it really could happen, I believe, at any time, considering you were willing to do it last summer, last fall. Well, you could do it now. I don't think you really need more time to do it, right? Specifically if it comes out, late winter of next year. So you have that. That was more of a question, okay? And then the timed exclusive thing. So this, Nate specifically went into, well, I've asked around. I've looked into it. So this, I believe, is more of what you would qualify as a rumor. And he came back with the idea that this was still going to be a PS5 timed exclusive. Maybe it comes to Xbox after about a year, but it seems like Sony has that timed exclusive. Maybe Microsoft or Xbox, maybe they've made a pitch to try to steal it back, and maybe it'll be, the same day across the board, but that's just what he's heard. So that's Persona 6. Very exciting. I absolutely cannot wait. And I want it to be announced. I made a video saying this would be one of those games that shocked me if it was at the PlayStation Showcase. I don't think it'll be there, but if it was there, that would be a big takeaway. Like, you leave the showcase saying, oh my God, Persona 6 was there. So that was one thing. Then we had the Persona 3 remake talk. Again, this seemed like a rumor, and we had already heard this. It was basically doubling down. They also believe, predict, assume, whatever, that Persona 3's remake is going to be shown at the Xbox Showcase. So the one in June on that Sunday, less than 3 weeks away, I think, at this point, right? So that would be where Persona 3 would be shown. However, right before that, they did throw in an extra tidbit that I don't 100% know if it's been said before. The plan is for it to release later this year. So I think that's new. I feel like it is, but maybe if I'm wrong, you can definitely know. Let me know in the comments. But there was that extra little bit of information. So it would be shown at the Xbox event, and then it would release later this year. That's very good. And then Nate threw in an extra, third little bit, which is also interesting, that there is a spin-off Persona game also coming in 2024. Now, he also added on to that because it would be smaller and it is a spin-off, he doesn't see it happening at the showcase. He doesn't see it as the right fit for something like that. So I believe that's the first time we've heard something like that as well. I mean, Persona games, you have one, you really have 6, because you could do a whole bunch of spin-offs with that just one base game. So that's not surprising that we would get it, but I think that's the first time that we've heard that as well. And that he very much much. He said it just very confidently. Now, again, I say things confidently, and I have no idea what I'm talking about in terms of like, leaks and rumors. Nobody tells me anything. I'm just a confident person. So maybe they're confident as well. But again, from what I've heard, he's on the money. Like this is a pretty good person to believe. In case you guys don't know, maybe you know more about him than I do, and that's totally fine. So there's your Persona scoop. Whether we get it at the PlayStation Showcase or not, a little bit of a timeline of, well, it does seem like 3 you'll see in a couple weeks. So you got that no matter what. 6, maybe, maybe on Wednesday, maybe in the summer, maybe in the fall, but then maybe releases like next November, December, 2024. So that's kind of a rough roadmap. And then the spinoff game, I suppose. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're all subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.